Previously, we talked about informing people of their rights in a way they would understand. So, you've used the workbook to guide the conversation and you feel the rights were explained correctly and that the person understands. But how do you know they truly understand? And what do you do now? Let's look at some examples of methods you can use to gauge a person's understanding. Imagine you are a day services provider and you are having a discussion with a person you support, Bob. You've had many conversations with Bob in the past and know he can understand verbal communication. But as you explain rights, you don't quite know if what you've discussed is really sinking in. Maybe you can bring up some scenarios to get a feel for if he really is understanding. For example, Bob, what would you do if one day you came to work and one of your staff said you can't sit by Mary anymore at lunch? Staff said that the two of you are making her boyfriend jealous. So staff think it would be best for everyone if you stopped sitting by each other. Bob, do you have the right to sit by Mary, or can your staff tell you that you can't? Since Bob has the right to associate with people of his choice, his response to this scenario is one way that can give insight into whether or not Bob is understanding what his rights are and how he can exercise them. We also need to support Bob in understanding the responsibilities related to this right, potential positive and negative consequences of asserting his right, and that with informed choice, he should be allowed dignity of risk and the opportunity to make his own decisions. Let's think about another scenario. You are explaining rights to Maria, and you start talking about how she has the right to have food in her home, which includes foods based upon her preferences. You ask her, Maria, do the staff in your home plan your meals for you? And she says, yeah, they always follow the weekly menu. Most of the food is pretty boring. You respond by saying, do you help plan the menu and grocery list? She says, no, the menu is just the menu. It's been that way since before I moved in. It would be too complicated to get what everybody wants, so we just have to live with it. You ask her if this is respecting her rights. She says, I guess so. It needs to be fair. How would you respond in this situation? Remember that everybody has the right to make their own decisions, big or small. It's our responsibility to provide Maria with the education, tools, and resources she needs to ensure she has power and control over her life. From a responsibility standpoint, we can talk about ways to make things fair, even with multiple people in the home, and help Maria learn about a balanced diet and making healthy choices with what food she will eat. While we just looked at some scenarios that involve the process of informing a person about their rights, we need to remember this process is not just a one-time or once-a-year thing. We also want to make sure we continue these discussions when it comes to actually applying these rights and ensuring that these rights are being protected. This is an ongoing rule that we are expected to maintain on a consistent basis. Let's take a look at a few scenarios that pertain to helping a person maintain their rights on this ongoing basis. What would you do in each of these situations? You work with Jordan every Saturday and you support them in their own home. Jordan has told you that they call their mom every Saturday and they and their mom both really enjoy these conversations. When you support Jordan on Saturdays, they ask you for help dialing the phone. Jordan expresses that talking to their mom makes them very happy and wishes they could do it more often. When you ask why they don't call their mom more often, Jordan replies that other staff during the week say it's too busy or that there's not enough time. Jordan has been told that they can only call their mom on Saturdays. What would you do to continue to support Jordan with their preferences and their rights? Now let's imagine you are supporting 3 people at their home and you're working the evening shift, which is new for you. The other staff present are reminding people that their bedtime is coming up, so they should start getting ready for bed. You realize that not everybody seems tired, or that they're even ready for bed. They grumble at the idea that they must stop what they're doing and get ready to go to their rooms. When you ask your coworker about this, they say it's a house rule, and that everybody needs to be in their rooms by 9 p.m. They say there is nothing wrong with this because the people don't have to go to bed and that they can do whatever they want as long as it's in their bedroom. When you ask for more information, the staff said that they do this because there's a shift change at 10 o'clock. And this hour provides time to finish up their shifts, their duties, write progress notes, etc. They say they don't have time to work with people and still leave their shift on time. What would your response be in this case? And what would you do to assist the people supported to exercise their rights in the way they want? People have the right to make their own decisions and control their own schedules. Staff who choose to work with people in their own homes are to respect people's preferences and provide support to them when and how they prefer. Now that you have a strong foundation related to people's rights, we encourage you to take a moment and reflect on what you're currently doing. How are you explaining people's rights to them in a way that they understand? We encourage you to think about past interactions that you have had related to rights and ask yourself if you are doing your best to continually support people to know what their rights are and how to exercise those rights each day. We hope you are aware of just how significant your role is when you facilitate these conversations. By helping a person understand what their rights are and how to assert them, you are supporting the person to have control in their life. Sometimes these conversations can lead to startling realizations for the person about how they can be in the driver's seat of their own life for the first time. As a facilitator, your role in these conversations is vital. We need to do everything we can to ensure the information provided can be understood and successfully implemented. Now is the time for you to put this information into action. We hope you find that your support to facilitate these important discussions can make impactful change in the lives of the people you support. Thank you for joining us.